For the first time in Trinidad and Tobago, the former wife of Muhammad Ali, Dr. Khalila Ali, will be attending Al-Hikmat for the Caribbean and South America Interfaith Banquet Dinner, building bridges with other faiths and cultures. A message will be delivered by Shaikh Shafayat Muhammad, the founder of Al-Hikmat Dawah Services, on Sunday, March 17, 2019 at 4:30 p.m. at the Paradise Point Banquet Hall, Central Warehousing Complex in Charleville, Chaguanas, Trinidad and Tobago, West Indies. A table of 10 will be 1,500 TTs. To reserve a seat or table for your family members or your non-Muslim friends, you can please contact Al-Hikmat office, inshallah. With over 20 years of traveling experience, Al-Hikmat Services is offering exclusive 2019 tours for a 10-day Umrah in Ramadan traveling to Makkah and Medina on May 11th to May 20th, and a 10-day tour of India and Dubai on October 13th through October 23rd, visiting holy sites, Taj Mahal, and many other historical sites. These groups will be led by Shaikh Shafayat. For more details, you can contact Al-Hikmat Dawah Services at 1-800-804-0267 or at 954-986-0158, or you can email us at alhikmat@alhikmat.com. Al-Hikmat now offering tours and travel services plus visa application and processing services for Umrah, Dubai, India, and many other countries. For more details, contact Al-Hikmat Services at 1-800-804-0267 or 954-986-0158, or you can email us at alhikmat@alhikmat.com.
All praises are due to Allahu Allah. All praises are due to Allahu Allah. Allahu, 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 Allah, Allahu.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. If you would like to dedicate copies of one of these publications as Sadaqah Jariyah, continuous blessings for your parents or dear ones who have passed away, or fi sabilillah, in the path of Allah, please give us a call so we can place your names on these dedicated publications. You can call us at 954-986-0158, or you can also visit us at www.alhikmat.com.
Allah is the creator of different faces. Allah is the creator of all races. Allahu, 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 Allah.
Royal Bengal Trading, importer, exporter, wholesaler of Bangladeshi Indo-Pak groceries and spices. We specialize in various authentic Indian masalas, juices, flours, rices, and spices. We offer exclusive brands as Ocean Pearl, Shan, National, Tilda, Himani, and many, many more. We're located at 36B Coroni Savannah Road, Charleville, Chaguanas, Trinidad and Tobago. You can call us at 473-4676 or call 476-3117. Email us at wahabdk@gmail.com.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Global Issues on Al-Hikmat TV 24/7 online. It is indeed a blessing and a privilege to have with us in Al-Hikmat studio Brother Nezar Hamzi. Welcome to the show, brother.
Assalamu alaikum, Shaikh Shafayat. Thanks for having me in your studio.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It has been long overdue since we have been trying to get you on the program.
Been busy, both of us.
And just to let our viewers know, brother, Nezar Hamzi is a very prominent person in South Florida and the United States of America. He has been all over the world on different community services with different agencies, etc. He is the executive director of South Florida Muslim Federation. He has been the former executive director of CARE, and he's also a deputy sheriff officer. So I think our viewers, and we got a very wide viewers worldwide, they're going to be very happy to hear from you, to learn about your experience, and to know more about your background and how you think and what are all your views for the Muslim communities and the humanity at large. So once more, welcome to the show, Brother Nezar. And tell us a little bit about maybe your background here in the United States of America.
Sure. Yeah. Alhamdulillah, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, Salatu Wassalam ala Rasulillah. I was born in Michigan. My father was an immigrant from Lebanon. He left Lebanon to get away from the war back in the 70s, there, the early 70s. So he came and
so maybe coming from Michigan, you would have been running for Congress, huh?
well,
with that kind of background,
yeah. Well, there's
support
yeah.
and population of the Muslims in Michigan. Huh?
Yeah,
interesting.
Well, interesting. They went there for the big three, to work for the American car companies, GM,
yes.
Ford, Chrysler. That's that.
And Muslims love motor cars.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what they went there. Alhamdulillah, that's my dad left and went there and met my mom. Thank God. So I was born in Michigan, but came down to Broward County when I was a toddler. So I've been down here and raised in Fort Lauderdale since I was 4 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've been here ever since. I'm 42 now. Yeah, so that's my background. Here in the United States, I went to school here, educated in the Broward County school system, went to college online, went to Palm Beach State College as well. So, Florida, I wasn't Florida born, but I'm Florida grown.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm Florida
so you love
grown.
Florida?
Yeah, I love Florida. It's tropical weather, beautiful people, very diverse here in Broward County,
Yes.
So
I mean,
good.
not that I don't like other states in the United States. I love to visit other states. I mean, Seattle is a world by itself.
Yeah.
New York has its own dream. Boston, as simple as Atlanta has its own benefits. You're centrally located in the United States of America.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Florida is just unique.
Yeah.
And Florida, interesting enough, is very ideal for Islam. Why? It's tropical. You're 24/7 available to do things when it comes to community services. Whereas other states, you're restricted.
Yeah.
The weather is a big wall.
Yeah.
Wall is a big subject nowadays.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but however, you're blessed to be in South Florida. We are blessed to be in South Florida.
That's right.
I mean, alhamdulillah, that's really nice. So you grow up here, you love the climate. I mean, it's a little hot, but hot is no problem. Muslims are accustomed with that sort of weather.
Yeah.
But really, Brother Nezar, I have noticed going to other states, there are a lot of restrictions with the weather, with the atmosphere, whereas South Florida is so multicultural.
That's right.
So diverse. So as Muslims in South Florida, you really do not feel uncomfortable. Beside the weather,
Yeah.
you do not feel uncomfortable moving around because it is such a multicultural place that as Muslims, you just naturally fall in.
Yeah.
Whereas in other states, you look like a foreigner.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that?
Yeah, of course. We're very unique here, and specifically in Broward County, because we're a majority minority county. So the majority of the residents here are immigrants, and they come from all over the world. And it's great. It's great to live here, and I'm proud to be raised here in South Florida. And it is, just on the news the other day, the Midwest there, negative 30 degrees.
Wow.
Negative 30 degrees, and there's 10 inches of snow, so I don't want anything to do with that.
And that's a very valid point. The majority-minority
Yeah.
gives that support to minority communities to
Yeah.
feel at home,
Yeah.
and everyone welcomes you. So I think we're really blessed.
We are.
We're really blessed.
Alhamdulillah.
We need to
Alhamdulillah.
get a commission from people who moved to South Florida because of this conversation.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about so you grew up here education-wise, and
Yeah.
now you are deputy sheriff officer. So what motivated you to get into law enforcement?
Well, I started getting involved with law enforcement through when I was doing community work. Started volunteering and for the chaplain's office at the sheriff's department, getting involved with different community-based projects. This was back in 2011 and 2012 when I first started getting involved with the sheriff's department. And then I was just a natural fit for law enforcement. My physique, my personality, very community-driven, wanting to help people. So I was a natural fit to not only serve the community, but also protect the community. It was alhamdulillah, it's all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala,
course,
and it's been a tremendous ride. It's a good thing.
And it's really a blessing to know that we have someone like you in law enforcement as a deputy sheriff officer. I mean, it shows the blend, the integration of our community, our Muslim leaders in society.
Well, Sheikh, I'm not the only Muslim officer.
I know we got a lot of Muslim officers.
There are a lot of Muslim deputies, a lot of Muslim officers throughout the South Florida and the state of Florida,
and in the United States of America.
and the United States. There are states that have very heavy Muslim presence in public safety. Fire, police, also in the U.S. military. My own daughter, she's in the U.S. Army.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have, we're in all aspects of life. You name it. Yeah.
Talking about the U.S. Army.
Yeah.
With the recent shutdown in the United States of America, showdown, shutdown, slow down, so many different things with it. The Muslim communities have been so effective in their support. When it comes to the army, I also learned that you guys have worked in many different areas with different organizations. Can you share that with our viewers? And we got worldwide viewers here. I'm sure they'll be happy to hear the kind of contribution and support that the Muslim charitable organizations did at this shutdown of the United States of America government.
Yeah, it was, a couple of things. It's a very sad day or sad time for Americans. We used to be the beacon of light, freedom, and opportunity. And now we're in a situation where our government can't even pay or they've reopened it yesterday, alhamdulillah, but they couldn't even pay the people that are protecting and serving this country. So it's a sad day, but alhamdulillah, Allah is the best of planners, and the Muslim community mobilized. So it wasn't the U.S. Army, it was the U.S. Coast Guard. It's another branch, U.S. Branch of the military, and the Muslim community came together. South Florida Muslim community.
Because most of the Army's department were paid.
Yeah, it was the U.S. Coast Guard that was suffering.
Okay, beautiful. It was that's important that you clear that up. Yeah.
So the U.S. Coast Guard, they were struggling. Members that are on our borders and in our waters protecting us. But Allah's the best planner, and there's a couple of leaders in our community that run Muslim charities and social service organizations that really stepped up, and we were able to organize and send a huge truck full of food to the U.S. Coast Guard based down here in Miami. So it was very well received. Different media outlets covered it, and some of the recipients, you could tell they were in shock.
Wow. Seeing Muslims coming.
They were in shock because the military environment, for the most part, is how can I say this? I don't want to say anti-Muslim, but the military environment is very firm, and when
they're not anti-Muslim, but they're not very pro-Muslim.
Yeah, they're not pro-Muslim. There you go.
I like that. I like that.
That's what we're gonna say.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that's just the way it is. That's same environment in the paramilitary workspace like in law enforcement. So they're not very pro-Muslim, as you said, Sheikh. So when you see these service members, they're seeing Muslims deliver food. Some of them started to cry.
Wow.
It was very powerful. They took a step back, they looked, and they're like, wow, this is not what we see of the Muslim community in the media. I can't, they were at a loss for words to the point where some of them were crying. And I think
and a lot of these people think that Muslims are just opportunists. And now when they see that Muslims are extending that helping hand to the communities and the societies, and especially at this level, at the government shutdown, that should really open eyes. Huh?
It was a very gratifying feeling. I can tell you all of the organizations that participated in it did it with zero expectation of any credit. They did it to serve humanity.
Yes.
They did it to serve humanity, and what a good representation that, us as Americans, that in this very difficult time where the employees of the federal government were not getting paid, where the Muslims stood up and said, you are our fellow Americans, here, let's give you supplies and food so you can eat and continue living. So it was a tremendous opportunity, and Allah blessed us with the resources, the talent and skills for us to help our men and women in uniform.
Well, in Allah's guidance and Allah's wisdom, there's always so many doors that open to different avenues that we wonder. But that's the mercy of God. That's the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know what is very sad, Brother Nezar, is that this shutdown and having to help people with foodstuffs, federal workers, government workers, wasn't a lack of money.
No.
You know, in some countries, and I mean, let us look at it in a very general point. You hear different news media reflecting on different opinions and views, but a lot of countries and times got issues when it's a financial crisis. But here the federal government in the United States of America got shut down, and it was not for the lack of money. It was all about politics.
It was actually...
It's just mere... Actually, I heard President Donald Trump said, we are not short of money. We got a lot of money. So money is not the problem. It is so strange that a lot of times shutdowns, strikes, and all these issues is about salary, lack of money, lack of funds. Here it's because of too much funds, arguing over spending more funds became the shutdown. How very unique.
Well, I think there's one word that, you know, alhamdulillah, we're taught in Islam, one thing that we have to check and make sure that we humble ourselves, and that's ego. And this shutdown was because of ego.
And listen, ego from both sides.
Yes, of course. No,
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
We must be very fair.
No, very frank. The government failed us.
Yes, both sides.
Both sides of the government failed the American citizens.
Out of ego, and I love that term you made.
Ego. Their ego caused over 800,000 Americans to suffer. That's the reality. And alhamdulillah, in Islam, we are taught to check our ego.
Yes.
And this is the damage, and this is maybe a good lesson for our people that run the government.
Of course.
Is if ego is what's causing our people to suffer, then we need to check ourselves, and we need to rethink that. So yeah.
You see, actually, one of the problem, I mean, I love media, I love journalism. That's why Al-Hikmat is into this.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
You know, we're into publications, social media, TV, the whole 9 yards. I love it. Ever since, you know, I've been in university, I always loved journalism. That's why, you know, I studied journalism. That's why, by the mercy of Allah, I try to use my journalism, blessings from Allah, to spread the message of Islam and the better understanding of Islam. And here we are talking. But that's an interesting point. As Muslims, we need to let the world know the truth.
That's right.
Unfortunately, what the media does, they really bias, huh? A lot of them, they are biased. Maybe because of their owners, their financial backings, who finance these media groups. So you always have a different picture of one television station to another. When President Obama was there, he had one station just putting him down. President Trump is there, he got one station putting him down. Doesn't matter what good they do. It is just unfortunate, and our viewers, and as Muslim leaders, we need to let our Muslims know that. Do not just be brainwashed. Do not. In Islam, we were taught that when you hear news, you need to sift it out. You need to scan it.
You need to
research it and verify the truth. And that statement you made, and I'm saying this because of what you just said, it was an ego trip on both sides.
That's right.
I mean, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I love both sides. Many Muslims may not like me to say that. I tell people, Brother Nezar, I don't know what is your verdict, and I'll put you on a spot on that. I tell people very clearly, I got a Republican brain and a Democrat heart. I think like a Republican, but I have the love and feelings for humanity like a Democrat. So I'm a balanced person. And that's a human balance, because there are times you may love something, but your brain says it's not good for you.
Yeah.
Or your brain may want something and your heart say, no affection, no emotion, no love. It wouldn't work for you. And that's the balance in a human body.
Yeah.
And God has created us like that. So what is your perspective on the Republican Democratic situation? I mean, listen, when it comes to Congress and Senate and government, there are times we need to talk about the both parties and how they need to work, because the shutdown is a clear indication of ego on both sides, and people suffered. The highest level of people, federal workers, suffer. Do you know what's going to happen to the regular people if things don't run well?
Well, I think, you know, as Muslims are not monolithic. You know, we have Muslims on both sides. I can tell you that our deen, the religion of Islam, it teaches us balance. And I can say that me politically, and I'll be very frank with stories that have happened to me, because you know that's what we're here to do.
Of course, let the people know the reality.
Our deen teaches us, if we were to name it, it would be a hybrid political system. The American political system is a Republican and a Democrat. But we see that because of the government shutdown, that system fails. Especially a system that's based on people's ego and pounding on their chest and their power, and not the service of the people that they're governing.
And a lot of hate.
And yes, there's a lot of hate. So I have stories on both sides. It's very interesting stories. So myself, I'm a very conservative individual. I've always aligned. My father was a very loyal Reaganite. He was very loyal to Ronald Reagan, loved Ronald Reagan. I remember writing letters to Ronald Reagan when I was a kid, and he would answer back. So I've always been very conservative. I tried to get involved with the Republican Party in 2011. It was, you know, in that time, I forgot the exact date, but 2011, 2010, 2012. And man, what a wake-up call.
Wow.
I was called every name in the book. Now here I'm a white American, born and raised here, and I was called a terrorist. People were yelling at me saying, we don't want Sharia law here, and I was flabbergasted. At one point I was in a room, there was, I don't know if you remember former Congressman, Alan West, because he was going around spreading hate about Islam and talking about the Quran, and so I went to go try to talk to him. He wouldn't talk privately, so I challenged him, and there was at one point I had like 350 far-right, hard Republicans yelling at me that they wanted to kill me, and it's pretty intense. So, you know, I don't judge people and whole groups by the actions of a few, but something that I did realize, and is part of the problem with a certain fraction of the Republican Party is they didn't speak up. The leadership of the Republican Party did not speak up. They stayed silent, while the local Republican Party here went just on an anti-bigot Muslim rampage. I remember I was there, and I had a friend of mine was there, and he grew up in the civil rights movement, Roland Folks, and you know, he's an African American, and he started to cry, and he looked at me and he said, I remember going through this when I was growing up, and he said, I'm sad to see that you're going through this now. So but like you kind of hit it, as you know, you have personal values. But at what point do you allow, as Muslims, at what point do you allow that one particular party to keep embracing and allowing Muslims to get hammered? So let's flip to the Democrats now.
And that's why I said, I like the idea of, I think like a Republican, but I got a heart of a Democrat. Because of the fact, exactly what happened to you showed that those Republicans did not have a heart.
No.
They just used the brain and not the heart.
So
they could have not come to a good decision. It was hate. It was
full of hate.
It
was horrible. So you know, our community has a lot of talent, and alhamdulillah, a couple years ago, I'm not sure, you know, Ghazala Salam, she started the American Muslim Democratic Caucus. The caucus went national now. But there was a point before that caucus started that the Democratic Party asked her to remove the word Muslim out of the caucus. And when I heard that, I'm like, what? because they have every protected class. They have different race, religion, sexual orientation. They have all these different classes, caucuses, right? But they literally asked her to take the word Muslim out of the word Democratic caucus.
Interesting.
Very interesting. So, and these are the leaders of the Democratic
When
Party.
they did not do that with other groups.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, may Allah bless her. She went through a lot. She really did. And she stuck with it. And alhamdulillah, they finally approved it. But this is not too long ago, Sheikh.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes, that's
so,
just.
Yeah. So this is not too long ago. So that's the experience with the same leaders, right? Now you have leaders of the Republican Party that are staying silent, and then you have the leaders of the Democratic Party that are intentionally asking people to take the word Muslim out of their caucus.
Wow.
Right? So it's a very interesting place to be.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
As you say that, I remember when President Bush, right?
Yeah.
Did a State of the Union address. And that's where, again, I stick to this Republican brain, Democratic heart.
Yeah.
When he gave the State of the Union address in his days, when people thought that the Republicans did not recognize Muslims, I always remember on the cameras, behind him, you could see two Muslim women with hijab, which is so interesting, how they kept firm, conservative, and he wanted to give that message that you had two Muslims with hijab, which means President Bush does not have anything against Muslims. And let's be fair, his families have a strong ties with Muslims and the Muslim world. So he was firm on it. He was not shy like the Democrat to remove the hijab. On the other hand, and you see as leaders, people like you, that's why we have Al Hikmah talk show here. So we could get what we want to get out there. Let both sides, Republican and Democrats. We about the United States of America. What is best for the people. And whichever candidate is better for the country and the community, that's the way we go. That's the way we go. And that's what they tell you when they get up there in Washington. Forget about red and blue states now. It's about the people. And we're talking about that. And our Muslims need not to be brainwashed with this one-sided thing. It's about facts, reality, and what is best for America and the people. On the other hand, President Obama, on his campaign trail, just as you said about this hijab, and that is interesting, see the balance. President Obama, on his campaign trail, when his campaign managers were asked, and if you check back the statistics, that campaign manager or managers, a committee, whoever behind the scene, did not support the idea of a Muslim woman with hijab in the forefront of President Obama's campaigning. On one hand, you have President Bush showing it. Muslims are here, while Muslims are thinking that President Bush did not like Muslims. Muslims are thinking President Obama likes Muslims, but the campaign managers are like, no Muslim signed. You see the situation? We have a problem. I mean, it may be strategically correct, politically correct, as we say, for their time, because President Obama was going through a lot of stress of them thinking he's a Muslim and that. Whatever be the case, at the end of the day, it's all politics. It's all politics. And I think people like yourself need to voice these things so our communities, Muslims, non-Muslims, whoever they are, could use their brains and their hearts. Brains and hearts, not just the brain alone. Because either one not functioning, the human body is dead, isn't it?
That's right.
If your brain is dead, the body is technically dead, even though it's beating. And if the heart is dead, the body is also dead. You're nothing. So I like that both examples that you gave, and I think that's very, very vital for Muslim communities and the other communities to understand what goes on behind the scene, because the regular people don't know.
Well, there's a couple of, and inshallah we'll have some time to talk about, why that's happening regarding our economic strength and our status in society. But regarding the government, I can tell you that in the Muslim community, and even in my paramilitary family and my law enforcement family, people are disgusted. People are disgusted that our U.S. government shut down for over a month because of ego. And 2020 is, it's coming. It's coming, you know, and this is, things got to change. You know, that's at the government. And as far as the Democrat and the Republican parties, the Muslims here are growing in number. We have so much talent and resources and skills and things that we can contribute, not only politically, but for the improvement of our society. And until they fully embrace that, you know, the Muslims will continue to contribute and do everything, but our country will be weaker because of it. And if that can happen, I think that our community will be, the American community will be stronger.
Yes, and once upon a time, the Muslim community did not have such a strong voice. They had a voice,
Yeah.
but not a very strong voice.
Yeah.
But within the recent elections, alhamdulillah, Muslims have started having a very strong voice,
Yeah.
meaning their voice have been heard.
Yeah.
Have been heard. The media represents it, whether in a negative or positive way, but the message gets out there.
And we got two Muslim congresswomen
Of
that were
course,
just elected.
that's the
Alhamdulillah.
beauty about it. And in many
Yeah.
other states, you got a lot of Muslims here and there
Yep.
into different positions.
Correct.
So we got a voice, and now we're going to be heard. But it's important that our people with the voice represent the right message.
That's right.
And do not use their voice to misrepresent justice, peace, love for all on the right path.
That's right.
Anyhow, Brother Nezar, we have been speaking for more than 25 minutes. Would you believe that?
Yeah.
25 minutes.
Just
It just
goes.
goes. So we got to go on a short break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we want to continue a little bit on your recent position
Sure.
of Executive Director of the South Florida Muslim Federation. I know your dreams and your views and your vision can be very helpful to our viewers worldwide in different countries, different states, different wherever in the world.
Yeah.
You know, Muslims need, and a lot of Muslims are learning from the development of Muslims and Islam in the United States of America.
Yes.
So we have been talking to Brother Nezar, a man of different backgrounds, Deputy Sheriff Officer, former Executive Director of CARE, Executive Director of South Florida Muslim Federation. When we come back, after listening to all his experiences in the political arena and his experience, etc., we're going to get more into his vision and his new dreams of developing this recently formed organization called the South Florida Muslim Federation. Thank you very much and stay tuned, inshallah.
For the first time in Trinidad and Tobago, the former wife of Muhammad Ali, Dr. Khalila Ali, will be attending Al-Hikmat for the Caribbean and South America Interfaith Banquet Dinner, building bridges with other faiths and cultures. A message will be delivered by Shaikh Shafayat Muhammad, the founder of Al-Hikmat Dawah Services, on Sunday, March 17, 2019 at 4:30 p.m. at the Paradise Point Banquet Hall, Central Warehousing Complex in Charleville, Chaguanas, Trinidad and Tobago, West Indies. A table of 10 will be 1,500 TTs. To reserve a seat or table for your family members or your non-Muslim friends, you can please contact Al-Hikmat office, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Global Issues on Al-Hikmat TV 24/7 online. Once more, it is a pleasure to have with us in Al-Hikmat studio Brother Nezar Hamza. It has been wonderful, Brother Nezar. We had a fantastic conversation before we went on the short break. I'm sure our viewers worldwide would have benefited a lot. You know, a lot of people in the Far East and the Middle East have all that negative thing about the whole of America as one block.
Yeah.
But you know, by you discussing this of Republican, Democrat reality, it opens up the minds of people,
Yeah. You're
the
right.
viewers, and we think more positive, and that's what we're all about.
That's right.
And I like that point. We Muslims should think like leaders, positive, optimistic, not negative, not all the time like victims, crying, the wounded bird story.
Yeah.
You really don't get anyway like that.
Well, you know, me being born and raised here, I don't, you know, fall into that mentality, at least my personality. And when I talk and I give khutbah and I give lectures, you know, wherever, I speak specifically about, you know, the American Muslim community getting out of being a victim, or that getting out of the victim mentality.
Yes.
Because you know, we're not victims. That is a mindset. And that is something that we need to understand, that American Muslims are the fabric of this part of the fabric of this country. We serve in uniform. We're doctors, engineers, business owners, media. And until we get out of that victim mentality, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran that He's not going to change us until we change ourselves.
Oh, definitely.
Right? This is a very important fact, and American Muslims need to change the way we're doing things.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's be real. If Muslims were victims in the United States of America, yes, there are certain cases and issues, but that is to do with certain people, places. You see what I'm saying?
Of course.
It does not reflect the United States of America. Because if that was the case, you wouldn't have the millions of Muslims coming to the United States of America.
That's right.
Why would you go to a place where you are a victim of certain things? It's just certain people, and that's why we talk on shows like this.
Yeah.
So those people, or those non-Muslims, would be better educated and understand that they are misrepresenting the government of America.
Yeah.
They're misrepresenting their Republican Party. They're misrepresenting the Democratic Party. They're misrepresenting themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
By doing injustice to other people.
Yeah.
So let us hear a little bit about this dream and this vision of the Muslim Federation.
So alhamdulillah, in 2017, the South Florida Muslim community came together, all the leaders, and I was part of that meeting, and we projected a vision of all of the community working together. Something that I've seen, I've been in the service, alhamdulillah, of the Muslim community for over a decade. And I have seen a tremendous amount of talent, like yourself, Sheikh, a tremendous amount of resources, education. Alhamdulillah, the community is doing very well, and I'm very well traveled, and I see the same thing around the world where I go. But one thing that our community is lacking is everyone working together in the same direction. Individually, we're doing good. Alhamdulillah, Muslim business owner is doing good in his business, or a physician or a doctor or a lawyer, they do good in their business. Individual mosque, they do good. You're growing, like alhamdulillah, Al-Hikmat and Darloom next door here, they're doing very well. But one thing that we have been missing is everyone working together.
Yes.
And that is our weakness. And that is why we continue to have the status we are in society, because we think ourselves like we're smart and we can project and we can change individually. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised us, if we come together, He gave us that favor, alhamdulillah, to bring us together to work towards the common good of humanity and making sure that our generations have a future. So that's our goal in the Federation, is to unite our community, to put our best foot forward, to make sure that we have the best speaker at every event, to make sure that we perfect example of the Federation operating and pushing behind the scenes was this example that I gave regarding the U.S. Coast Guard and how we brought all the individuals together and under the lead of one of our members of the Federation, not the Federation itself, right?
Yes.
So it's not an ego thing; it's about serving. So that is our vision, and alhamdulillah, it's been very successful. We have currently 34 Islamic centers and Muslim organizations part of the Federation, and we are working very strategically to change our infrastructure and how we operate as a community. So it's a big ship to turn.
Of course, because I like that point that if we don't work together, I like the saying that one person, well, actually, in Islam, togetherness has barakat. Has blessings. Eat together, work together, and each person still keeps their identity. You know, it's like nature, what Allah has created. You got your fingers. The thumb has a different shape. Each finger got a different shape, but when it comes to doing things, they work together. They are independent, but there's strength in working together. And as small as the little pinky finger here, got a lot of strength in working together. And that's the blessings of a federation. And I think that will really be very powerful and create a dynamic sort of opportunities, dynamic opportunities for the success of Muslims and non-Muslims.
Correct.
You can do so much.
Absolutely.
So much. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. That is interesting. That's what people need to know.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought we have to talk to you.
Well, Sheikh,
on
yeah.
Hikmat on this.
So, that, alhamdulillah, it's going very well in South Florida, but I can tell you I've very well traveled. Like I said, I've been to many countries and visit specifically Muslim communities. And that is, in fact, what the problem is.
in many countries.
In many countries. Alhamdulillah, we have a little more freedom here in the U.S. Some countries aren't like that, but as soon as the Muslims wake up and unite, truly unite, just say, yeah, we're united. No. You start working together. Example, like we're trying to do here, and one of the projects we're doing in the Federation is creating our Muslim community's economic strength. So what does that mean? That means keeping the Muslim dollar in the community, right? So we have thousands of Muslim-owned businesses and over 150,000 Muslims. But we do an absolutely horrible job of keeping the dollar inside of the community. Example, we have, alhamdulillah, you have a Muslim-owned gas station close to this facility, right? So if everyone that came to Jummah knew that that was a Muslim-owned gas station, I guarantee you that all of the people that come to Jummah would fill their car up at the Muslim gas station,
Of course.
right? And in turn, that Muslim business owner would give more, invest it back into the community.
I'll
right?
give you a good example, right?
Yeah.
As you made that example.
Uh-huh.
The gas station close by. Yes, truly, the brothers, a lot of the brothers and sisters fill the gas there. Look at the benefit. I don't have to buy anything there. I, as the leader in this community, the owner of the gas station says, Sheikh, everything is free for you here. You just pick up and eat and drink whatever you want.
Yeah.
So good on, even I benefit.
You know,
I mean, I'm just using
yeah.
a real example.
I understand.
And a lot of people do, and you're right. We need to work together and
Yeah.
share each other resources, and it's so much more benefit.
What I asked the community when I go visit and I talk to them, I said, listen, change the way you do. We are trained here in the U.S. to shop for convenience. Myself, everyone for convenience. I need tires. I'm going to go shop. I'm going to go to Pep Boys, Sam's. I'm going to get the best price tires, right?
Right.
But I can tell you that we have a lot of Muslim business owners that own tire shops, and they can get you the same quality for the same or even cheaper price, right?
Wonderful.
So I am asking the Muslim community, not only here but globally, before you spend your money, ask yourself two questions. Does that business care about the Muslim community and the future of the Muslim community, the generations?
Yes.
Number one. And number two, does that business invest back into the Muslim community? You'll find most times the answer is no. Why? We are in control of where we spend our money. We are in complete control. So this is what I'm talking about, building our economic strength as a community. And for everything, insurance, everything you can think
But
of.
it works both sides, because if
It
the
does.
business guy does not see the Muslim community supporting him,
Absolutely.
he just won't care.
Yeah.
And if the community do not see him giving them a good
Yeah.
support in prices and
Yeah.
costs, they won't support it.
Well, I can-
so both
yeah.
sides need to work
That's right.
together.
So how does this work? What does it look like, right? So we'll start with the example that we've done in the South Florida Muslim Federation is we created a business portal at SoFloMuslims.com. You click on business portal, very easy to navigate. You
Yes.
click on business directory, every type of business you could think of, you click on it, you'll find a Muslim-owned business there. Jobs. That's another very important thing for our society, right?
Yeah.
For our community. So all these business owners, they click on jobs, they can post their jobs, and there's current jobs there now. Muslims need a job, they go there, they see all the jobs. And then posting resumes for all of our talent. So this is initiate a project that the Federation started. Alhamdulillah, it's getting traction, but it's really going to take a hard reset of our community. It's going to take community leaders like you, Sheikh, to ask those questions. You see somebody just bought something for their car, they bought something for their house, or they had something remodeled. Say, hey, who did that?
Yeah.
Did you Muslim, Muhammad or Sophia or whoever? Did you know they do this business, right? It's going to take all of our community leaders pointing in that direction, because what's going to happen is our community will start to become self-sufficient
Yes.
and start creating such an economic power for itself that we're not going to be struggling anymore.
Oh, definitely.
But that's the goal. So that's one of the visions regarding our economic strength for the Federation to
No, you're
achieve.
right. I mean, in professional services,
Yes.
you got some powerful Muslim lawyers,
Of course.
immigration officers.
Yes.
I mean, our Muslims need to know they can save a lot of thousands of dollars. I mean, we're talking in the United States of America. Immigration is a big issue.
Yeah.
That's what the whole wall is about.
Yeah, we have-
the
yeah.
whole government shutdown is about.
Yeah.
Immigration issues.
That's right.
We got so many immigration officers. I mean, Muslim immigration officers can make so much money.
Yeah.
And Muslims can save so much,
much money.
by going to Muslim immigration officers. I mean, I'm not saying if you got good non-Muslim
Yeah, of course.
immigration officers.
I understand.
I know a lot of non-Muslim immigration officers, very nice,
Yes.
very kind, and very helpful.
Yep.
And I've been referring a lot of our Muslims to them, and they get through normally, mashallah, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
But the point I'm getting at is that some of our Muslims have no clue what to do, and they get ripped off.
Yeah.
They really get ripped off by immigration officers.
Yeah.
X amount of dollars, X amount of
I know.
dollars that has nothing to do beyond reality, the cost that the poor people pay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We could have a lot of Muslims. That's a big area.
It's a big area. And also, I don't want to discount the talent. We have a lot of, you're talking about attorneys. We have so many talented Muslim attorneys in South Florida. You've had a lot of them on the show. You have Yasser, Kuram,
Yes,
Saman.
yes.
You have all, Omar. You have all of these attorneys that are so young and talented and can produce good results,
Yes.
for our community. And that's in every field, every field. So
Science, computers,
everything,
the whole work.
everything. So Bismillah. This is the part of the direction of the Federation. Other quick things that the Federation is working on. We're working.
But before you go to the
Sure,
other point,
sure. Yeah.
feel free as the executive director, brother Nezar, and I'm saying it on camera, so I cannot go back on my words. Feel free to send us those details. It
Sure
doesn't
will.
have to be the details of every business, but when that link or that whatever
The
clipping
business portal, yeah.
and we can advertise it for you on Al Hikmat.
Absolutely.
People looking for jobs, people looking for discount in businesses. We just need to put that where they should go.
Yeah, it's
And
simple.
at least they will know.
It's simple. It's SoFlowMuslims.com, and you just click on business portal. It's right on the top of the page, SoFlowMuslims.com, and you click on the business portal. We're asking the Muslim-owned businesses to register their businesses.
Yes.
And we're asking the Muslim community to shop those Muslim businesses. So I'll send you the information, inshallah.
Please, and
to
we'll
do that.
advertise it.
Of
We can
course.
advertise it in our talk shows, in
Yeah.
the magazine. At least, there are a lot of people there. You never can tell where. That's what media is all about.
Yeah.
I always tell our volunteers in Al Hikmat and our technical guys, I say, listen, marketing is such a powerful thing. That's what Islam is all about. The word dawah is a line of marketing. Marketing is inviting technically you
Yeah.
inviting people to your mission. And that's what dawah is all about, inviting people to understand God.
Yeah.
So every opportunity we get to market something, could you believe the largest media networks in America, in the world, every second that they get, they advertise their media. CNN, Fox News.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People
Yeah.
dream CNN and Fox News, but they advertise. So, and I think you need to promote that with your business
we are.
people.
We are.
They need to advertise and let people know who they are, where they are, and what they're doing.
Yep.
That's very important.
It is. You're right.
Yeah. So
Alhamdulillah.
you were about to mention some other points.
So yeah, some other initiatives, important initiatives that we're doing in the Federation is our spiritual leaders like yourself, Sheikh. So what we're doing is we've created the Council of Imams, something that the backbone of our community is our deen, and something that that the only qualified people are our religious leaders like you, and just like our community and all the institutions have lacked the unity, we also want our imams. The imams are very well networked with each other, but we want to bring them together, and we want them to address real societal issues that our community are facing. One thing that I see tremendously, and there's been so many surveys, and I've seen it with my own eyes, is our Muslim youth are leaving the deen because of this word ego. They're leaving the deen because of this word ego. Our Muslims, our youth, I've talked to them and had hours conversation, and they said, Brother Nezar, the elders don't care about what we say, so why should we care about what they say?
Yeah,
right.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, and alhamdulillah, that's not everywhere, but this is part of the problem. So we have a Muslim identity crisis with our youth, and so.
And that is really
issue.
true.
Right. So another thing, drug use.
And that's why the Prophet, peace be upon him, says, that you need to respect your elders and be kind to your juniors.
Yes.
And he said, those who do not respect the elders and those elders who are not kind to the juniors are not from this ummah. So we need to keep that. And that's the problem, the wall that exists between seniors and juniors. Yeah.
So societal issues like that, there's like drug use, that's another thing that it's affecting every community in the country, in the country, not just Muslims, but we're bringing all of our scholars, all of our religious leaders together to work on these issues, to have a way forward, to lead our community spiritually in these issues. And so those are some of the programs that we're starting. Another one is the Muslim Charities and Social Service Unity.
But I just like to do my little plug in here.
Got it.
Before we get into the next charities
sure.
Issues, very important, Brother Nezar, that I have experienced in my 40 years of dawah plus.
Of course.
Alhamdulillah, it's 40 years plus. When the Muslim leaders get together, because this is the problem. Alhamdulillah, I mean, like yourself, I know you have traveled, and we did not even get to talk about your traveling experience. And we just out on time. We have already been speaking for more than 20 minutes on this second segment here. But maybe we have to invite you back on the show and talk about your experience to different countries and your travel, etc.
Yes.
But one of the problems that I have seen in foreign countries, because I've been to the Eastern Fives, and I mean Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, I've lectured in these countries, been around East and Far East, Caribbean, West, and the East. The religious leaders differ basically on their mazhab, their religious thoughts, and then they keep their masjids, their organizations separate because they're the leaders, and then their followers are just their strength that strengthen the separation. You see what I'm saying? So very important with the Imam Council is to make sure imams, we think as one Muslim body. The Sharia technicalities and differences, they should leave that for their independent, personal, masjid, private lifestyle.
Yes.
And not disrupt the unity because of differences of opinion.
Correct.
Because that exists. There is no way we can end differences of opinion in Islam, because differences of opinion, these are blessings. The Prophet ﷺ speak about it being a blessing. We are wider thinkers. You can be Republican, you can be a Democrat. We don't have a problem with that. You can think Shafi, you can think Hanafi. But that should not be the wall between the scholars and imams coming together. They need to come together on the issues that are important. Their masjid could be a Shafi mentality, or Salafi mentality, a Hanafi mentality, a Tablighi mentality. And I want to say this on the show because those are some of the walls that separate masjids. The community and the people, and we deprive ourselves of all the strength you're talking about. Business strength, economic strength, the unity at large. And that's something we got to make sure does not disrupt the smooth running of the council.
Well, I'll tell you that the Federation, the South Florida Muslim Federation, is focused on that particular point with tremendous thought. We are making sure that we are not getting involved in having different madhab discussions, and every sect, school of thought, they are welcome in this federation. And same thing with the Imams Council. So the Imams Council, we will not be discussing to hold your hands here, to hold them here, our moon sighting. We're not discussing this issue. We need to focus on what's hurting our community, what's affecting our Muslim youth and our community. That's what we're asking the spiritual leaders to focus on.
I always like to share a joke about the moon situation. You have one imam says, I didn't see the moon. Or next one says, I saw the moon. Next one, I'm waiting for the moon. New moon, whatever. You know what happens? Forget about moon. Nobody ever sees the light.
That's right.
And we're all in darkness. And that we want to make sure don't happen.
You know, one thing I'm going to say to that, I can tell you from the community perspective, from the members, the lay members of the community, because that's where I am, you know, when I usually am around. The community is so sick and tired of this disunity. You know how many times I go all over the place and they're like, why can't we just pray together?
Yeah, I
You
know.
know, I know there's a lot of other little nuances and things like that, but the community is excited to be united.
Good.
We are excited to be part of that, and alhamdulillah, you're part of that. You're a very instrumental.
I mean, that's
piece
the blessing
that.
of having you here, because
Alhamdulillah.
I really like that, and that's why I
Yeah.
want to promote it and support
Yeah.
it in whatever way. Al-Hikmat, not me so much. Al-Hikmat, yeah.
Bismillah. You know, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us and bless this effort and make our community, you know, strong.
Yes.
Yeah.
So whatever way, brother Nezar, that we, Al-Hikmat, can be of help to market, to promote, to support. I mean, we have just begun the mission here.
Yeah.
I mean, media, we're in a small world nowadays. This
Yeah.
is a global issue.
Yeah.
And this is a global issue. And I hope and pray that your effort and all the other brothers and sisters in the Federation effort will be a light for other organizations in America and worldwide. And we could, you know, we shouldn't build walls that create problems. And let's make sure in trying to build walls, we don't have a shutdown with the Federation. I love that. I mean, we laughing over it, but
You're
listen,
right.
American government in wanting to build a wall, ego problems.
Yeah.
There are a lot of money. There is need for the wall. Let's be very real. There is need for the wall. There are a lot of money. How you spend the money, how you put up the wall, or how you do this immigration thing, that's what is more important. Not who is in power and who wants to do it and who doesn't want to do it. Otherwise, you know what happened? Federal workers got shut down.
That's right.
So we don't want our
Muslim community to shut down.
Federation to shut down.
No.
Because it's powerful.
Yes.
It's really dynamic, you guys. This is what we need, and it needs to be a model for the rest of the world, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So may Allah bless you, may Allah guide you, guide all the brothers and sisters who are involved in all these community works. We got a few seconds, whatever you want to conclude with to our audience.
You know, thank you very much, Sheikh. You know, I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for everything, all the blessings in my life, and the tremendous empire you've grown here, Sheikh, and all of your talent. And may Allah continue to give you all the barakat and the blessings, and make you an example, you know, of a best practices.
Ameen.
You know, so we can duplicate it, inshallah. So alhamdulillah, I'm very happy and honored to be here in your studios, and very happy and honored that you're part of our federation. And I know that we're going to do good work, and we're going to make our community strong, alhamdulillah.
Thank you very much. And it's all by the rahmah and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the blessings, the guidance. And may Allah bless you also for being here with us. I know it takes a lot of time to come out on a rainy day, on a cloudy day, on a cold day, to come in Al-Hikmat studio. I feel like I'm in Canada or Vancouver or something.
What happened? Who ordered this?
Recently, I've been in Vancouver, and I'm looking at South Florida weather today. I'm saying that's it. Windy, dark, cloudy, and cold. But for you to come out on this day shows that you're really a good community leader. It takes a lot of sacrifice and effort to do that, to come out on such a day for us to sit here in Al-Hikmat studio. May Allah continue to bless you, guide you, and thank you very much for coming. And again, viewers, it has been a pleasure and a blessing to have Brother Nezar Hamzeh with us in the office, as I said in the opening remarks, Deputy Sheriff Officer, former CARE Executive Director, the Executive Director of the South Florida Muslim Federation. The effort, the time, the sacrifice that Brother Nezar puts in, you know, money cannot buy that, and it cannot really be put into value, not even in time or dollars. It just comes from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So may Allah bless all of you viewers. Continue viewing Al-Hikmat TV 24/7 online, on local television stations, etc. And may Allah bless Brother Nezar and guide us all on the right path. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
For the first time in Trinidad and Tobago, the former wife of Muhammad Ali, Dr. Khalila Ali, will be attending Al-Hikmat for the Caribbean and South America Interfaith Banquet Dinner Building Bridges with Other Faiths and Cultures. A message will be delivered by Shaikh Shafayat Muhammad, the founder of Al-Hikmat Dawah Services, on Sunday, March 17, 2019 at 4:30 p.m. at the Paradise Point Banquet Hall, Central Warehousing Complex in Charleville, Chaguanas, Trinidad and Tobago, West Indies. A table of 10 will be 1,500 TTs. To reserve a seat or table for your family members or your non-Muslim friends, you can please contact Al-Hikmat office, inshallah.